Okay, good morning, guys. So this is Pavan from MGMITtraining, guys. So able to see my screen? Online folks are able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Pawan.
Okay. So this would be our batch tracker sheet, guys. So we have couple of people in our classroom and a couple of people in online, joined online. So yeah. So before we start today's session, so this would be like 1 second. This would be our batch tracker sheet. First of all, this would be your batch tracker sheet where I will be I'll be noting down what concept is covered on each day and who all attended the session and all those, right? So and I'll be sharing this spreadsheet to everyone. Once you confirm your joining, I'll be sharing this spreadsheet to everyone. So this 11:30 to 12:30 a.m. batch would be for LoadRunner and Dynatrace, right? And those who are most of you are already joining JMeter in 10 to 11 batch, right? So we'll continue that that JMeter new batch. This is Jan 2026 daily morning batch, and this is JMeter. Okay, I'll update this. Let me update this. So this batch, these timings will be for JMeter. Okay. So this will be the standard timings going forward. Going forward, 10 to 11 will be the timings for this batch. 10 to 11 a.m. IST will be the timings for this batch, right? For JMeter batch. And we will continue LoadRunner and Dynatrace in these timings, during these timings, 11:30 to 12:30, right? And now, before we start LoadRunner, so some quick updates. So those who joined my previous sessions, you may be knowing that like I'm collecting list of companies which are having performance testing openings, and let us see the latest count, right? So till now, till now there are 1739 companies which made into the list. Or till now I was able to collect 1739 companies which are having performance testing openings. Pan India. These are Pan India. And now if you want to see how many openings are there in Hyderabad location, for example. Okay, let me quickly show you that. And one more thing. So when an organization is having performance openings, it will also have automation openings. Definitely there will be automation testing openings as well. So this list applies for both automation and performance. Okay, performance, see, some companies may not have performance testing, but they will be having automation. So automation testing companies will be more than this, much more than this. Clear? Now, if you see like how many companies are there in Hyderabad which are having performance openings, there are 517 companies. There are 517 companies in Hyderabad which are having performance testing openings. Now, if you want to search in Pune, 164, right? The actual list may be more. I mostly focused on Hyderabad and Bangalore, guys. Okay. See, some companies will be there both in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Mumbai, and all these cities, right? So okay, so Bangalore, you see only 80 because sometimes I noted is I'll correct this, I'll fix this. So Bangalore is having 417 plus 80 for 80, so 497 approximately, right? So both Hyderabad and Bangalore are having 500 plus companies which are having performance openings. Clear? Approximately 500 companies are there in both Hyderabad and Bangalore. Any queries, guys? And I had collected this list I had prepared this list in alphabetical order, and the total number of companies which are having performance openings are 1739 till date. And the list is growing day by day. So today morning I added 4 to 5 companies, right? Those who attended yesterday's weekend session. I think, in yesterday's session, it was somewhere around 1730, isn't it? 1730 or 1730 plus, right? So 8 or 9 more companies were added to the list. Any queries, guys? Now I'm sharing these openings, I'm sharing all those openings in our batch WhatsApp group, by the way. And this will be the batch WhatsApp group for this particular batch, February 2026 LoadRunner Dynatrace batch. So once you confirm your joining, I will add you to this WhatsApp group. So and I will also create a playlist URL for this batch for sharing the recorded sessions, right? And most of you joined already JMeter, right? So I'll be directly starting LoadRunner. I will not start from basics because in the previous batch we spent 20 hours for basics, isn't it? So if you see Jan 2026 batch, we started these basics here, and how many hours we spent on those basic concepts, fundamental concepts is till here, isn't it? So 16.5 hours are spent already on basics, and then I started JMeter in this batch. And we actually started JMeter scripting from 9th Feb onwards. Scripting was started only from 9th February. So if anyone want to join JMeter batch, yes, if you are already having some idea about performance testing basics, then you can join this JMeter batch if you want. Clear, guys? We have some new joinees. That is why for those, I am explaining this for those. And we have some new joinees today. I think Gopi Krishna is one new joinee. That's it. Only Gopi Krishna. Okay. So some people, informed me that, because of Shivratri yesterday, they can't join today. Right. So but there are 20 people who enrolled for this training altogether, both online and offline. Okay. All right. So now let us have an introduction on LoadRunner. Any queries, guys, before I start this LoadRunner? Any queries? And for JMeter batch, we did a script review today. For example, for JMeter batch, I did a script review today, right? And I did script review for 3 people. So in script review, I'm going to check, whether script is working fine or not, and response assertions are proper response assertions are added or not, right? Think times are added or not. We'll be checking all these concepts. Okay, just for your information, for those who joined today. So these are the things we check in the script review. And I think, we are one of the very few who do script review actually. Okay. So no other training institute or trainer does this script review, right? But we do script review, and we maintain a batch tracker sheet and we'll share this batch tracker sheet to everyone so that, you can rework on these, mistakes that you did in the scripting, right? So this is for the first application. And for first application, I asked you to share the scripts through mail. For second application onwards, you are going to share your scripts through GitHub. I'll make you create a GitHub account, and you are going to share the scripts through GitHub from second application onwards. Any queries, guys? So Gopi, are you able to hear me? Gopi Krishna, who joined online?
Yes, sir.
So today we'll start with LoadRunner 2025. Because 2026 version is not yet released. Mostly it will be released in February ending or March first week. Okay. New version will be released only in February ending or February. Actually, by this time last year they released the 2025 version by this time. So however, we'll start with 2025.3. I'll take the latest version of LoadRunner. So I did not install it, but like for now I'll use 2025.1. Let me show you that. So let me launch Vusion tool. I'll close this JMeter. Okay. So I'm using 2025.1 here, but for you people, I will install 2025.3. That is the latest version. I will also upgrade the LoadRunner on my machine by tomorrow.
Sir, it is a licensed tool. So do we
yeah,
have
LoadRunner is a licensed tool and it is owned by OpenText. By the way, that small window you got, that blue color window that you got is called as splash screen, where it shows the version and it shows that it is owned by OpenText, right? So LoadRunner is currently owned by OpenText, and this is CE means Community Edition. CE stands for Community Edition. Means what is meant by Community Edition? Community Edition means nothing but trial version. So we are using trial version of LoadRunner. Okay. And LoadRunner provides 1-year trial version. That is a wonderful thing with LoadRunner. See, if you take any other tools like Splunk or Dynatrace, Dynatrace provides only 15 days trial version. Splunk provides 60 days trial version. However, LoadRunner provides 1-year trial version. You can use this trial version for 1 year without any issues. However, there are some limitations. You can simulate only 50 user load test with the help of this trial version. You can run with, if you want to run a load test, you can't run with more than 50 users using trial version. Okay. Any queries, any other queries? And before I start this LoadRunner, right? So first, let me show you what are the system requirements. Okay. LoadRunner 2025 system requirements, so that you will understand what is the required configuration and why do I ask people to upgrade the RAM, right? So if you observe, see in the fundamental sessions, I ask everyone to check their system configuration in know your computer session, right? So I ask everyone to check their operating system, what is the RAM, what is the CPU configuration, and all those, isn't it? The reason being, so these license tools will have some system requirements. Means your system should meet these requirements. For example, LoadRunner 2025, right? LoadRunner 22 for LoadRunner 2025, minimum of 8 to 16 GB RAM is required. 16 GB is recommended actually, but it supports 8 GB. Let me show you that. If you open the support matrix, you can clearly see that here. Okay, this is 24.1. Please wait. Let me open 2025 system requirements. So if you open that system matrix document, right? So yeah, this is 25.1 system requirements. So it clearly says here that 16 GB is recommended, but it supports 8 GB RAM also. However, 16 GB is recommended, and then available space in the hard disk should be 50 GB, 50 GB, right? However, recommended is 100 GB again. Okay. So and minimum the processor number of cores in the processor should be at least 4-core CPU. It should be a 4-core CPU, whereas recommended is 8-core CPU. And what is way to check this? Way to check your processor configuration? Go to Task Manager, go to Performance tab, right? You go to Performance tab and you go to CPU. Click on CPU. Observe here, mine is a 10-core CPU. Clear, guys? This is what you need to check. Mine is a 10-core CPU with logical processors is 12. But you need to check this course, main course. Okay, not logical. Huh? What is that? 2 cores. It's only 2 cores. So, okay. So if anyone is having less configuration than this, I have to install LoadRunner older version. I'll install older version. See, for example, LoadRunner 2024 supports 2 cores, I think. LoadRunner, if you check LoadRunner 2024 version, right? So I think it supports, 1 second. Yeah, 2024 also, it requires 4-core. So then let us check 2023. LoadRunner 2023 system requirements. I believe it supports. Let me check. Let us confirm. Yeah. So this supports 2-core CPU. So I need to install 2023 for you in that case. No, we upgrading RAM is easy, but upgrading processor is not that easy because your motherboard should support. Your system motherboard should support. So you can't upgrade processor easily because your motherboard should support. So that's fine, but that is fine. Let's see, there will be only like slight changes, cosmetic changes like button color, button shape, those kind of UI changes will be there, but it is fine. So 2023 is also fine. Okay. So, but there is no other possibility. So I have to install 2023 for those who are having 2-core CPU. Clear, guys? And you need to, then your system, your tool will work smoothly. Otherwise, you'll have a lot of issues. If you don't check this and if you don't take care of this properly, in the usage, you will get a lot of issues. Clear, guys? So everyone check, everyone check your system configuration. And if anyone is having 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM, please upgrade it immediately if possible. Okay, your motherboard also should support. Okay, so if only like they can tell you, or you can search in Google, like your processor. If you check, what is your processor configuration, how much RAM does it supports, you will get that information. Clear, guys? So be ready with that. Now we'll have, I'll take a pause here. Any queries, guys? Hey, by the way, like I will use the latest LoadRunner training document. Just give me a moment. I have 2025 latest version in the form of a Word document. Just give me a moment. I'll share this document, this content to you. I'll share this content to you. Anyways, for training purpose, I'll use this one. Okay. So yeah. Now, shall we start or any queries, guys? No queries. Okay. So let us start with the LoadRunner introduction. So LoadRunner is a performance testing tool which was pioneered by Mercury in 1999. Actually, LoadRunner came into the market in 1999, and Mercury is the company name which developed this LoadRunner tool, right? So pioneer means the first one to bring it to the market or first one to use it. But actually Mercury has developed that LoadRunner tool in 1999, and it was later acquired by HP Enterprise in 2006. And then in 2016, LoadRunner was acquired by Micro Focus, a company called Micro Focus. So I still see some people mentioning HP LoadRunner. Last week I got some CVs, and they are mentioning HP LoadRunner. So it is no more HP LoadRunner, guys. Now it is owned by OpenText, by a company called OpenText. So you should mention OpenText in your CV. OpenText LoadRunner. You need to mention OpenText LoadRunner. Okay. So in 2023, this LoadRunner or Microsoft company was acquired by OpenText, by a company called OpenText. And LoadRunner supports various development tools, technologies, and communication protocols. In fact, it is the only tool in the market which supports such large number of protocols to conduct performance testing. Okay. For those who are joining directly, I will explain these basic concepts. Okay. Now, what is protocol? What is meant by protocol? Let me open a Word document for your batch, for your class notes document. Okay. What is meant by protocol? Vardin? Do you have Vardin today? Yes.
Yes, sir.
What is meant by protocol, Vardin?
Protocol.
Protocol means set of rules for communication between client and the server. Between client and the server. Right? So client means nothing but if you are using a web application, your browser will be your client. Isn't it? Isn't it? If you are using a web application, you will be using some browser as a client. Clear? So if you are using a desktop application, the client software will be different. That is why you have to mention, like client and server. Don't say browser and server. Browser and server, and you are talking about only web application, right? But when you use the word client, you are mentioning any application, whether it is web application or a desktop application or a mobile app, right? So, this client is a generic term for that. Clear, guys? So set of rules for communication between client and the server, that is called as protocol. And now LoadRunner is the one and only tool that supports, lot of protocols. Let me show you how many protocols does LoadRunner supports. It supports almost 35 plus protocols, if I remember, right? And this version, this 2025.1, this is 2025.1. Tomorrow we'll see 2025.3. I will install that 2025.3 by tomorrow. Okay. Now these are the different protocols supported by LoadRunner. .NET, .NET Plus, C, vUser, Citrix, ICA, etc., etc. And if you see here in each column, you have 6 protocols. So in that way, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36 plus 2, 38 protocols. This particular version is supporting 38 protocols. Clear, guys? JMeter hardly supports 15 protocols, 10 to 15. Whereas LoadRunner supports 38 protocols. By this time, it would have added to 1 or 2 more protocols in latest version, right? So LoadRunner is a much more mature tool and powerful tool, right? It supports almost every protocol in the market, or it supports almost every application, different kind of applications. Clear, guys? Any queries? So it is the only tool in the market which supports such large number of protocols to conduct performance testing. Okay. And LoadRunner allows users to test robust internet applications, Web 2.0 technologies, ERP, CRM applications, and legacy applications. You can test legacy application like mainframe and latest applications, any latest applications also, like IoT, Internet of Things. So you can test any application, any latest application, any latest technology. Clear, guys? With LoadRunner. And that is not possible with JMeter. JMeter has some limitations. For example, you can't do performance testing with JMeter with SAP GUI applications, but LoadRunner supports it. Do you see that SAP GUI? LoadRunner supports SAP GUI protocol. You can test LoadRunner. You can test SAP GUI applications also with LoadRunner, whereas you can't test with JMeter. You can't test SAP GUI application with JMeter. And most of the other open source tool doesn't support, applications like this or protocols like this. Clear? So that is why LoadRunner is still having market share of 40%, even though it is the most costliest tool, right? Let us ask ChatGPT what is the market share of these tools, performance testing tools. Okay, I believe everyone is using ChatGPT. Otherwise, please start using it. Create an account and start using it. So last weekend we discussed, we have a wonderful use cases. We had some performance bottlenecks, and I had demonstrated how was I able to fix that issues with the help of ChatGPT, right? So in the last weekend session, right? Most of you joined that last weekend session, right? Your batch? No, sorry. That is previous batch. That is previous batch. Okay. We'll discuss, we last weekend we had long sessions. Let me show you that. So we fixed some performance issue with one application. And that was done for last batch, where I covered some performance engineering concepts, right? So last weekend we had, almost 3 hour sessions, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday we had 3.5 hours, and Sunday we had almost, again 3.5 hour session. Okay. So where we discussed, OVM issue, which we faced during 5,000 user load test. And also we completed custom coding for that batch, and how to resolve OVM issue by increasing heap memory, how to fix the busy threads issue, etc. So we discussed some performance engineering concepts over the last weekend. We'll discuss for your batch as well. Okay. So this is, and we closed that batch yesterday. That was the last session, that was the last formal session for that batch. Okay. So now coming back to your batch, yeah. Now, LoadRunner is not only a pioneer tool for performance testing, but that is still a market leader in the performance testing paradigm. Now, let us see what is the market share. Market share of, sorry. So these three are the popular tools nowadays: LoadRunner, JMeter, and NeoLoad. So I am asking ChatGPT what is the market share of these performance testing tools. Even though LoadRunner is the costliest tool, so it is having 40% market share. JMeter is having, of course, 65% market share, right? We checked it previously also. Last week also we checked it one of the sessions, isn't it? So JMeter is having 60+% market share, 57%. JMeter is having 57% market share. And you can see that LoadRunner, how much is the market share for LoadRunner, guys? Where is it showing here? Is it not showing? So LoadRunner we saw somewhere around 40%, isn't it? Now it is not showing the numbers here. But we saw that, we checked that last week, I think we checked that, okay? And it has shown that it is having 40% market share, right? So NeoLoad is having some 5% market share, approximately 10%. NeoLoad is having approximately 10%, right? JMeter is having 50%. LoadRunner having 40%, guys. I don't know why it is showing now, but we saw that last week. Okay. So you can try, let us try Copilot. And we'll be using all these tools like Copilot and ChatGPT and Claude and some SQL AI tools, right? So like there is one SQL tutorial. There is one website for SQL tutorials. This is for SQL tutorials called SQL Bolt, and we'll use some AI tools also along with this. Along with these tools, this is for only for practicing SQL queries. This is an interactive tutorial for database concepts or SQL concepts. Okay. So, and I'll show you some AI tools also for database. Like, there are some AI tools as well for practicing SQL queries, optimizing SQL queries. We'll discuss that later. All right. So for now, I will ask Copilot what is the market share of these performance testing tools. Okay. Exact percentage not published, it seems, recently. Okay. So, but JMeter is having 57%, right? So, but last week we saw that it is 40%. Anyways, So LoadRunner is still having 40% market share, even though it is the costliest tool. All right. Now, so it is not only a pioneer tool and one more important thing, most of the product-based companies prefer licensed tools. Most of the product-based companies like Google or Microsoft or JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, or SAP Labs, right? Because SAP Labs, SAP GUI protocol is not supported by JMeter. They have to go for licensed tools. Some licensed tools, some are other licensed tool like LoadRunner or NeoLoad, right? So usually, if you have one licensed tool and one open source tool in your CV, that would be a good combination, perfect combination for performance testing career, right? So it is still yeah. I'll go to the next step. So in a recent assessment, yeah, LoadRunner has about 40% market share, and it supports rich internet applications, Web 2.0, and SAP GUI, particularly Oracle Protocol and Microsoft SQL Server, Citrix, RTE, Mail, and above all, Windows Socket Protocol. What is this Windows Socket Protocol? Windows Socket Protocol, if you have a chat application, chatbots and all use that Windows Socket Protocol. Okay. So, and that protocol is also supported by LoadRunner. Chatbots, you know what is a chatbot, right? So they use Windows Socket Protocol. Okay. And that protocol is also supported by LoadRunner. Okay. So this is an introduction to LoadRunner. And these are the features of LoadRunner. It will have interactive user transaction simulation, supports wide range of applications. As I mentioned, you can test legacy applications like mainframes and latest applications as well with LoadRunner. And then it supports mobile testing, mobile performance testing, supports cloud testing, continuous testing, and root cause analytics. One more important thing is, what is the maximum user load that you can test with LoadRunner? And what is the maximum user load, that we can test? See, let us ask, let us check that. What is the maximum user load that we can test with LoadRunner and JMeter? Okay, JMeter and LoadRunner. LoadRunner supports, as far as I know, LoadRunner supports up to 50 lakh user load. 50 lakhs user load. That is the last number that I know. Okay. So that is a wonderful thing with LoadRunner. So, it supports up to 50 lakh users, right? So this is 50,000 is for LoadRunner Enterprise, but there is something called LoadRunner Cloud, which supports 50 lakh users. Okay. So if any organization like Instagram, suppose Instagram want to do performance testing for their application, or Facebook want to do for their application, there is no other option except LoadRunner, because LoadRunner Cloud supports 50 lakh. I'll do one thing. Let us see, LoadRunner Cloud. Just give me a moment. So you can see here that it is designed for massive scalability, right? So it scales up to 5 million plus virtual users, right? 5 million is nothing but 50 lakhs, right? More than 50 lakhs. 5 million plus virtual users are supported with LoadRunner Cloud. So any large scale enterprises like Instagram or Facebook or Google or Meta, if those kind of companies, if they want to do performance testing, LoadRunner is the only choice. Okay, that is the reason why it is still the most costliest tool, because it supports huge number of protocols and it supports huge user loads as well. Clear, guys? See, LoadRunner on-premise supports 50,000. Means on-premise means this one, which we install on our machine. This supports 50,000. Still, that is a very big number, isn't it? Right. So whereas LoadRunner Cloud supports up to 5 million plus users.
Pavan, 50,000 will support when will we install license version, right?
Only license version. Yes, license is mandatory for that. See, with trial version, we can't go beyond 50. Okay, so we can't go beyond 50 user load with the trial version. Okay. And this screenshot is shows some list of protocols supported by that. And now I'll move on to next thing. Like there is not much to discuss on this. Now I'll move to the next slide, which is LoadRunner architecture. Right. So this is how LoadRunner works. I'll go to the slideshow mode. And let us understand point by point. Okay. So if you see here, So this is LoadRunner controller machine. Okay. So before discussing that, let me show you. So when you install LoadRunner, you get three components. Okay. Let me sort by date modified, or sort by date modified. So observe here. When we install LoadRunner, okay, we get these three components installed on our machine. These are the three components that will be installed on the machine when we install LoadRunner. One is virtual user generator, which is used for scripting, and controller is used for test executions, and analysis component is used for analyzing the test results. Okay, so these are the three components which we get when we install this LoadRunner tool on our machine. Okay, just give me a moment.
Sir, can you unmute it?
Sorry. Yeah. Controller is for test executions, creating the scenario. Okay, creating the test scenario, and test executions. Performance test executions. Okay, right. I'll further elaborate it. Creating the performance test scenario and test executions. And third component is analysis component, which is used for analyzing the test results. Analyzing the test results. Okay. Now, so I had launched that Vision component here, and this is how the home screen looks like. Now, if you want to create a new script, you go to File and New Script, and you select New Script and Solution. You select the protocol. First, you select the protocol. Let's say your application is a web application. So you select the protocol and you give some name to this. Okay, so I will start with this application called Good Health. Okay, so I'll create one folder for this project. Let's assume that this is your project. So I'll create one folder for this project. Not here, sorry. So I think OneDrive is out of space. That is why you are getting that case. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll create it in my local machine. Okay, so I created one folder for your batch in with your project name. All right. So and this is how your interface looks like. Your LoadRunner Vision interface looks like. And if you observe, those who are already joining JMeter, LoadRunner, you'll start loving LoadRunner. Okay. So because it is having very user-friendly interface, and it is the most user-friendly tool, and it is much more mature tool. So you have separate components for scripting. So you see here you have separate component for scripting, separate component for execution, and separate component for analysis. Whereas JMeter provides only one interface. That JMeter GUI is used only for scripting, and of course for executions you use non-GUI mode. Even analysis, JMeter is not that much good in analysis, or it will not be helpful for analyzing the test results. Whereas LoadRunner is a wonderful tool for scripting and executions and analysis. Okay, you have separate components for each one of them, and you have a very user-friendly UI. Okay, if you want to record a script again in JMeter, if you want to record a script, you have to do the proxy setting and all those. Here, you can directly start the script recording. You just start your record button and give your project name, right, or your URL here. We will enter the URL here, and we'll see that which we'll see that in the next session. Okay, you can directly start recording with LoadRunner. No need of proxy setting, no need of importing any certificate like in JMeter. Clear? So LoadRunner is the most user-friendly tool. So we'll discuss, we'll do scripting, script recording tomorrow. So for now, let me go ahead with the architecture. Okay. LoadRunner architecture diagram. So once you record the script, right? So you will be using controller component for controller component. This is controller component, and you can read point wise. So controller is a central console from which the load test is managed and monitored, right? And this is controller component, and these are called as load generator machines. The machines used to run the script are called as load generator machines. Okay. So, and what does these machines does? They will generate thousands of virtual users to perform real life transactions on a system to emulate or to simulate production traffic, right? I repeat it again. Thousands of virtual users perform real life transactions on a system. System means application here to simulate the production traffic, right? So we basically generate the scripts with VUGen and we run those scripts from controller component to generate virtual users on the application. And this is your application under test. This is the application that you want to do performance testing. And if you see here, you see those three boxes. First one, you have a spider web symbol, right, which indicates web server. And this second box is having some gear symbol. This is your application server because your business logic will be processed here. Your application business logic will be processed here. That is why you see a gear symbol here. And then this is your data. This box represents your database server. This is your database icon, isn't it? This icon is your database icon, isn't it? So altogether, suppose this is your application under test, right? So these are virtual users. Those users shown in blue color, those are virtual users who are generating load on the application under test, isn't it? And now you can also monitor the application with this monitor, while running the test, you can monitor from your controller machine, and controller will also collect the results. It will collect all your test results, which is mentioned here. Real-time monitors capture performance data across all tiers, servers, and network resources, and display information in the controller, on the controller, right? And if you see the fourth point, so results are stored in a database repository, allowing users to generate reports and perform analysis. So this will be taken care by analysis component. So you can analyze the test results and you can generate reports using analysis component. Okay. So this is overall LoadRunner architecture. You have three main components. Apart from this, there are other components also, guys. In fact, when you install LoadRunner, there are tens of components that will be installed. For example, if you search for LoadRunner, right? So you'll have, different components installed on your machine, like LoadRunner license utility, right? You'll have, LoadRunner, something called LoadRunner license utility. Okay. LoadRunner license utility and password encoder. There are different components that will be installed when you install LoadRunner tool. So there will be a lot of components installed on your machine, which we'll discuss that later. If you search for LoadRunner, you'll see a lot of components will be installed on your machine. Is it showing here? Okay, it's not sure. Apps, will it show in apps? So, right, sexual data, you'll have different components in. Oh, I closed it by mistake. Okay, let me clear the drawings. So when you install LoadRunner, there will be tons of components that will be installed on your machine. Like apart from VUGen controller and analysis, you have something called LoadRunner license utility and password encoder, and multiple components are installed on your machine. Okay, so yeah, so analysis component will be used for analyzing the test results, right? And now these are the hardware requirements which I had already shown that in the beginning of the session, right? So this is for LoadRunner 2024, I think. This is for LoadRunner 2024, I think. Okay, and each component, you need to check that for each version, like what are the requirements, system requirements, and all. You need to check that. Okay, and here, this slide speak about like what are the various components. VUGen controller analysis, what is meant by load generator, and performance center or LoadRunner enterprise, right? So we'll discuss all these components going forward. Once we Once we start, we'll discuss one by one. And now I'll go to important, terminology, important load runner terminology. Okay. So first one is a transaction, right? So we already discussed that in the fundamentals, but so and those who are joining JMeter, there will be slight difference in the terminology. So transaction is common. Transaction is nothing but any user action which involves sending some request to the server is called as a transaction, right? That is, from performance testing point of view, it has the same definition, or you can think of about the same definition, right? See, for example, login is one transaction, navigate to search dialog, enter a search string is one transaction, click the search button is one transaction, logout is one transaction, and transactions are used to measure the performance of an application. Now, business process means a sequence of steps in your application. I'm sorry. A sequence of steps in your application that represents a use case or a business function. Okay. See, for example, if you want to book a ticket, you go to home page, you search for ticket availability, and you select some seat, and you make the payment. Check. You add to cart, or you make payment, and you complete the ticket booking process. So that is one business process, right? That is one business process. Suppose you want to search a product, you go to home page, you enter the keyword, and you search for a product. That is one business process, right? So this is also common for LoadRunner or JMeter or any other tool. This is common. Now, what is a scenario? So scenario is nothing but combination of scripts. In JMeter, we call it as a combination of scripts. In JMeter is called as a test plan, right? A test plan contains multiple scripts. Here in LoadRunner, we call it as a scenario. Okay, scenario is nothing but a collection of business process or scripts, right? In LoadRunner, we call it as a scenario, test scenario, performance test scenario. Okay, and vUser script. VUser script is nothing but recorded actions of a business process performed in your application, right? And virtual users, this is also common across all the tools. What is a virtual user? Virtual users simulate the actions of a human users using your application under load, right? And script footprint. The script footprint means nothing but how much CPU, how much memory, how much disk your script is consuming. That is called a script footprint. Okay, when you are running a script, how much CPU, how much memory, how much disk, how much network your script is consuming. That is called a script footprint. Clear, guys?
Pavan, virtual users or view users same like thread group in JMeter, right?
Right. Virtual users is nothing but threads in JMeter. Threads, not thread. Thread group is nothing but a script, right?
Script, yes.
See,
The
thread group
thread
is
group
nothing but
is nothing
script.
but business process, right, sir? A sequence of
Yeah, each
steps.
thread group represents a business process,
Business
right?
process.
Right. Okay. So any other queries before I move to the next slide? Okay. So let me move on to the next slide. So these are the different load runner components. You have vision, controller, analysis component, and then agent machine means nothing but load generator machine. Okay. Agent machine is nothing but load generator machine. And this is your application under test. Whatever application you want to do, performance testing is represented here. And these are the main components of load runner. Okay. And now this is the load testing process. Okay. We'll discuss this, theory part later on. So anyone, I just want to show you the tool installation. Just give me a moment. I just want to start the tool installation. We can discuss this theory concepts later on also. Okay. So that, yeah, let us discuss what are the system requirements, guys. One more time. LoadRunner 2025 system requirements. This is the latest one that I'm going to use. Okay. So for installing LoadRunner, you require a minimum 4-core CPU and 8-core is recommended, right? And then RAM is 8 GB, whereas 16 GB RAM is recommended one, right? Apart from that, you have some system requirements related to operating system as well. Okay. So disk space should be at least 50 GB, and whereas recommended is 100 GB on a SSD drive. All right. And then coming to operating system, this particular version 2025.1 supports Windows 10 onwards. It supports from Windows 10, it supports Windows 11. And of course, these are server operating systems, which we will not have anyways. But in organizations, you'll install LoadRunner on server operating system. Okay. They will not, obviously, they will not use Windows 10 Home or 11 Home like us or Pro operating system, but they'll be using Windows Enterprise for your office laptops, right? Windows 11 Enterprise will be installed on your office laptops. Write it down here. Windows 11 Enterprise version will be installed on your office laptops, right? For load generator machines, you will be having Windows Server operating system. For controller and load generator, you will be having Windows Server OS. Okay. Server operating system will be much more powerful and much more costlier than our individual operating systems like 11 Pro or Home. Clear? You'll be having Windows Server operating system. That is what they are talking about here. Windows Server 2016, 19, 20, 22, etc. Clear? And then coming to browser, Google Chrome is recommended. And then it also supports Edge and Firefox. Screen resolution should be 1366 by 68. 1366 by 68 or 1600 by 900 or higher. That is recommended. Recommended one is 1600 by 900. Why I'm explaining this is if anyone want to purchase a new laptop, there is no use of purchasing 4K display screen. Please don't purchase 4K display. It is LoadRunner doesn't support. Okay, so it will be, but it is if you want to enjoy movies or visual movies etc. Then 4K display is okay. 4K display will be good. It makes sense to buy 4K display, but LoadRunner doesn't support. You need to decrease the screen resolution. Whenever you want to use LoadRunner, you need to bring down the screen resolution from 4K to 1600 by 900 or higher. Okay. 4K, LoadRunner doesn't support 4K resolution. You'll face issues if you want to use LoadRunner on a 4K screen. That is the reason I am explaining this. Okay. Of course, 4K displays are costly, but I still see some students are using 4K displays. That is the reason I am explaining this. Clear, guys? If anyone want to purchase a new laptop, please don't go for, you can't, it's up to you whether you want to go for 4K display or not, but LoadRunner doesn't support it. Clear?
It was saying using electronics 1600.
No, but you'll have some issues on 4K display. You have to decrease the resolution, then only it supports. 4K is not in this scope actually, because they don't expect, like 4K displays on enterprises. That is why they did not mention about this. But I had faced that, one of my laptop is having 4K display. There I have to decrease the resolution to make it work. If you want, tomorrow I'll show that. I have that laptop at home, that server machine at home. So I'll, I'm using one more laptop for on which I am running the demo applications and all this, right? So that laptop is having 4K display. I'll show that tomorrow. What issue you can expect on that. Okay. Any queries? I'll take a pause here. Any queries? And before installing LoadRunner, so make sure that you install all the updates, Windows updates. First update your Windows operating system, and then try to install LoadRunner. Make sure that you have at least 50 GB on your C drive, in your C drive. Okay. So if you don't have 50 GB of free space, try to make some free space in your C drive. If you can't make it, install it in some other drive. You can also install it in D drive or E drive if you have. Clear, guys? But make sure you first install all the Windows updates first, and then try to install. See, observe here, you can clearly read out here. When you install any components on a Windows machine, make sure that the full set of Windows updates have been installed, or install the Windows updates listed in the table below, right? Rather than installing these individually, do your Windows updates first, and then try to install your LoadRunner software. Okay.
Sir, I have one more doubt. So, in real application projects, where we will be getting separate machines for controller, separate machines for analysis, separate machines for writing
No. You will not have separate machine for controller and analysis. So first of all, you will be installing this Vusion and controller analysis on your desktops, office desktops.
Uh-huh.
because we have to do scripting and we need to create a scenario in controller on our office machine only. And you may be using your office laptop only for analysis. So you'll be installing all these components on your machine, but you'll install controller license not on your office laptop. Okay. Only that license part will be installed on a dedicated machine, dedicated controller machine or dedicated loader machine. Got it. See, because like when you have 3 or 4 team members, your organization will not buy license for each and everyone. They will purchase one license and every team member or every team uses that.
Okay.
Got it. So you'll be installing that license only on the dedicated load runner machine.
Okay.
But you will not have separate machines for load runner, separate machine for analysis. No, you'll have on that remote machine also, server also, you'll have all these components installed. Vision controller analysis components installed, and your license will be configured on that remote machine, so that
they will
it
give
can be
that.
used by all your teammates, any of
Perfect.
your teammates.
Yes, yes. So it will be a kind of token-like thing where we have to give that, right, sir?
No, they will create access for you. So they will create access credentials for each team member to that controller machine. So then you can use your credentials and you can configure, or you can create your scenarios, or you can run your test executions. Okay. So you will be using office laptop, your office laptop for, still you will be using your office laptop for, wait, I'll write it down here. On our office laptop, you will be having all these components, Vision controller analysis.
The reason why I got confused is you have mentioned Windows 11 Enterprise, and then again you came to Windows Server OS where you have mentioned like, okay, we have to give the controller
Yeah,
or
understood. Yes, yes. So on this machine, you will have that LoadRunner full installation. LoadRunner full installation, and you will be using your license will be configured here. Controller license will be configured here.
Okay.
Controller license will be configured here.
It is a kind of remote machine, sir. The client given machine. Okay.
So your office laptop, you will have this Vision and controller and analysis components. All these components will be there on your office laptop.
Okay,
But
just like
license, you will not
JMeter.
have it. You will not have license configured on your office laptop.
Uh-huh.
So for
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you will have a dedicated machine where you call that controller license will be configured.
Okay. Then why we need to have these Vision controller in our office laptop? We can directly have it in
So for
the.
scripting, for scripting and for designing the test scenario, for analyzing the test results.
Okay. Okay.
See, controller you will use only for designing the test scenario. Designing the test scenario, performance test scenario.
Okay.
And designing the performance test scenario. And analyzing the test results. Analysis component is for analyzing the test results and preparing a report. See, usually your team lead or project lead will be analyzing the test results and preparing the report. Okay.
Right.
And you also, of course, everyone can design the test scenario, your own test scenario. You can design it on your, or you can open the test scenario and see how it is configured.
Okay, sir. Because the trial version is for 1 year only. In case if the project is for 2 years, the trial version in the office laptop will not work.
No, see, corporate companies or your IT organizations will not use trial version. They are not supposed to use trial version for commercial purposes.
Okay.
If they want to do any POC, proof of concept, they can use it. Okay. POC means proof of concept. If they want to do any POC, then they can use it. But executions, test executions and all, they will not use it to count. They can't use it, or they will not use it for commercial purposes for clients. Okay. Any other queries?
How the licensed version will work on the office laptop, sir? Because we'll not have the licensed version on the office laptop, but still how it will run the
See, you may have community edition in your office laptop. That is fine. But for test executions, that community edition will not be used. That is what I mean to say. Organizations will have a license. They will purchase license from Microsoft and they will configure it on the controller machine.
Okay.
But see, if you wait, If you want to configure, yes, you can do that. You can configure the license on the controller machine. But see, they cannot configure license for each and every team member, right? Any organization will not be able to configure license for each and every machine or each and every employee, each and every performance test engineer, isn't it? So
Right.
they will maintain that on a central console or central machine. Okay.
Oh,
But
oh,
I'll show you that. I can show you that where that license can be configured. So yeah, if you go to help, you have something called license utility. So
okay.
here, you will get a separate window. There you will import that license. If you
Okay.
have that license file, you will click on install new file and you configure the license file here,
Okay. Okay.
right? But you will do this on the controller machine, not on your office laptop.
Okay. Okay. That running execution and all, we'll be doing it in the remote machine only.
Right. Only for creating the scenario. In JMeter, we created one scenario, our test
Correct.
plan, right? We combine all the
Yeah.
scripts into one test plan. So
Huh.
similarly, here also we create a scenario using controller component without license, not required for license, not required for creating a controller scenario or
Okay.
performance test
Yeah. Yeah.
scenario in
Yeah.
controller.
Yes. 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 Got it.
Any other queries? Only for test executions, you require a license above 50. Or if you want to execute load test for only 50, what is that? But you can't purchase that license. That license is very costly. They will not give you that license key to everyone. Okay. And in fact, actually, I think they will tie that, tie that license, that they will map that license key to the MAC address, I think. Or, when LoadRunner is selling the license, I think they will tie it up with the controller machine MAC address or something. That way, it will work only on that machine. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any other queries, please? You want me to show the script recording in LoadRunner quickly?
Yes,
Or shall we see that tomorrow? We'll see that tomorrow. It's already 12:45. We'll stop it here for today. Tomorrow I'll show you how to do the script recording in LoadRunner.
So
Okay.
this community version directly we can install from the Google, right?
No. So if you want to, good question. Thanks for asking that. I missed it. So if you want to download the trial version, you need to have some official mail ID. Okay, let me show you that. We'll discuss that and we'll close that. Okay. How to download this license version, or you need an official email ID, or else I will be sharing through my Google Drive. I am having it. I downloaded 2025.1 and 3. So I will share it through my Google Drive. But if you want to directly download, you need an official email ID. Let me show you that. LoadRunner, community edition download. Let's say I searched for community edition latest version. So if you go to, let me go to the, 1 second. Open text website. Now this is showing 2023. But I'll go to open text, download and install it. Sorry. So free trial of open text professional performance engineering. Yeah, they changed the terminology. So here you need to sign up for a free trial. No credit card is required. But however, you require some official email ID. It will not allow you to register with the Gmail ID. Even if it allows, it doesn't, say, wait, I'll do that. I'll try it. Okay. So I'll try to register with my Gmail ID, which it doesn't allow. Okay. It is asking for company name. So you can give anything, it won't validate anything. Let's say I'll give Infosys. Okay. And job title. These are mandatory fields. So I'm filling it. Okay. Start your free trial of OpenText Professional Performance Engineering. Yeah. Hmm? What is it? Privacy policy and this one. Need to open this. Do we need to open that? See, this UI has changed. Like I did not use this UI anytime before because OpenText is OpenText acquired recently, and it is making a lot of changes on the interface and all. Okay, so I'm clicking next. It's not. I think this is because of email ID or I think. Okay. Then go. As far as I know, like it doesn't allow. It doesn't allow personal mail IDs. It will not work. They will not work. Warning message on the company name. Select from list of companies. Okay, that's what I did. I had selected from the list of companies only. Right. So wait, I'll try some my I'll try some. No, I think page is not working properly. Can you please try it from your side? Please try it from your side.
Sir, we can give our past organization names also.
But that email ID, you should have access to that email ID, right? So it will actually send an activation email. It will actually
Okay.
send an activation email. So without that activation email, it will not. You will not be able to do that. You will not be able to download the trial version also.
Okay. So in
Okay,
that case, how can we do that?
that's what I'm saying. I am going to install it. I will share through my Google Drive and I will install it.
Okay.
Okay.
Even we
So
will also be
actually,
able to do it in our systems, right? Once you share it via the Google Drive.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
you can do that.
Okay.
Okay, you can install it on your machine. Once you have that community edition, you can install it on your machine.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Select any agree or something. Do you have any option to agree or something? Okay, guys. So I'll stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay. So I'll share this once you confirm you're joining by paying the fees for LoadRunner. I'll share this software through my Google Drive. I'm having it in my Google Drive. Okay. So those who already confirm they're joining, I'll share it today. I'll share it right away. You can download that and it will be a 2 GB file. You can download that and you can install it. I'll share the instructions also, or else, tomorrow I'll explain you. So how to install it, we'll do that. We'll discuss that tomorrow. I should be having 2025.1 and 3 also. Yeah, I have it over here, 2025. Yeah, 2025.1. I am also having 2025.3 also. Right. For those who are in classroom now, I'll do it today. Okay. So I'll do it today, and for other guys, I'll do it later. All right. So we'll stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow, guys. Any queries, guys, before we close today's session? No queries? All right, then I'll stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow.